Hello, my loves. We have some catching up to do today, and I'm going to talk about what's been going on and how I manifested my dream life in 30 days. Actually, less than 30 days. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss a new video. So we're gonna jump right into it because so much has happened, and it hit me the other day when I was creating an email. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have really just made a huge quantum leap, and I need to share it with the girls. I need my ladies to know what happened and what I did to quantum jump into this new timeline. So what did I call in? Quite a few things. I might even forget some. I called in my dream partner, my masculine provider, dream clients for my new programs. So the Wild Heart Woman, which is on round 2, that is my program that I'm running live right now. And I also have the Goddess Guidance package, which is not new, but I revamped it. And I've been calling in the perfect clients and the people that are most aligned. And I've done it without having to be on social media all the time or having to like overly talk about it. But it's just been this thing where I've been attracting the right people, where I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm just making money. It's really cool. I love it. My dream body, I already was in my dream body, but like to the next degree. So my stomach is even flatter. I have freaking abs now. Everywhere like I wanted to have a little bit more has that now. My man paid for me to go see Beyoncé, and it was crazy. Like it's been almost a month and I'm still like on a high. Like I'm still listening to the album daily and like crying, and it's just so good. It's so good. How did this happen? What did I do? So I implemented the Wild Heart Woman framework, and it's a 3-part framework that I created to help me and of course my clients and the women that come into my world of my work be able to drop into the quantum through the gateway of the heart, and that way they can access the truest desires of the heart and then take the actions based off of intuitive nudges to then actually bring those things into reality the quickest, easiest, and fastest way. So it's basically an energetic shortcut to get you from reality A to reality F, if that's the desired reality, with the least amount of time and struggle in between. So the easiest, smoothest path. Before I get into the mechanics of the framework, I want to talk about the Wild Heart Woman as its own archetype, because I have not talked too much about this on YouTube, but I have talked about it a lot in my emails and in my programs. For those of you that are not new here, you know that I had 3 archetypes in my work: the Practical Priestess, Grounded Goddess, and Embodied Empress. Not in that order, but those 3 archetypes. I do not work and never did work with the Practical Priestess archetype, and I really only worked with Embodied Empresses and Grounded Goddesses. That left kind of an opening because I didn't really work with Practical Priestesses, and I just, let it be what it was. It was like that for maybe a year, maybe 2, and then the Wild Heart Woman started to come through. I didn't know that that was the name of it, but the energy started to come in, and it started to form its own archetype, which is what led me to the Wild Heart Woman program. This archetype is so unique because her resonance field is truth, and the throat chakra is the chakra that most aligns with her. And so speaking, living, being in her truth is the resonance field that she creates. And she pulls up energy from the womb, the heart, all of that. She pulls all that up, and then the throat is where she manifests it and calls it in. By using the Wild Heart Woman framework, I was able to do that in my own life and then take my clients through that process as well. Let's dive into what I actually did to call in all these amazing things in such a short period of time. Part 1 of the framework is womb de-armoring, yoni de-armoring, a series of practices to help you de-armor, like it says, the tissues around and in the womb, so that you can feel safe to receive. And that's not just in a sensual way, but also when it comes to your manifestations. And so that first part of the framework is super important, because when you are de-armoring the womb, you're preparing the space for holding and carrying the manifestations, whether that be a baby, whether that be a business, whether that be a new partner, whether that be clients that are your dream clients like I had as well, whether that be the dream version of your body. But de-armoring the womb and the practices that we incorporate in this framework will help you to actually create that space and feel safe to have that space. So the practices that I personally love the most and use for this part of the framework are yoni steams. Also, one of my favorite, my yoni days. And if you don't know what that is, I've talked about this before in other videos, a whole entire ritual that I have around using S magic. I'm only saying that because it's YouTube and I don't want to get flagged, but S magic in order to call in whatever your desire or manifestation is. And so I was able to use that part of the framework, which helped to prepare the landscape, if you will, to call in all of these beautiful things. And I will say this part will be so good for you to clear out any old energy. So clearing out any old lovers, clearing out any old beliefs, clearing out any old baggage that might be sitting in your womb and making space for the new. I have so many stories that I can share in my personal life, but also from my clients of doing this work, and literally exes will hit you up and people from your past will try to show up, and old misaligned timelines and jobs and things will try to reach out to you when you start doing this work. And it's very important that you stay in a place of healthy discernment while you're doing this to know, once you clear the space, what you actually want in this space. Part 2 of this framework is opening your heart. And this is the next piece of the puzzle. As you can see, we're kind of moving up. The opening of the heart is this soft surrender, this like sacred surrender that you get to embody when you've created that sense of space and safety in the womb. We're going to carry that energy up in part 2 of the framework to your heart. And so being open to the possibilities, the endless love, and feeling that vibration and enveloping yourself in that vibration through different practices. And we do this after the yoni part, particularly because the yoni and the heart are super connected. And when you get that spaciousness in your womb, it will transfer and carry over and start opening up your heart. For me, when I called in all of these amazing things in less than 30 days, I practiced daily gratitude. I practiced daily softening. When I felt my body wanted to tense up, I would intentionally soften in those moments. And sometimes that meant that I might cry in that moment. And I had to repattern and relearn these different things that maybe a part of me didn't want to do because there was a shell, right? A hard shell. And so practicing in those moments, softening and letting go and removing ego and removing the protective layer from the heart. Every time that, you know, a thought or a feeling or someone or something came in that said, hey, you aren't worthy of that, or you can't have that, instead of getting defensive, allow the truth to emanate from my heart space and saying, I know that I am. I take my clients through the same similar practices in this part of the framework to help you stay open-hearted and not contract even when your desire hasn't come in yet, but to keep that open heart. The third part of this framework is surrendering to the intuition. So if you haven't noticed, we are moving up from the womb to the heart. Now we're talking about the intuition. And this is where you take the actions that are going to bring you to your timeline the quickest and easiest way possible. And you're going to do that through honing and refining your intuitive muscle. Now, with your womb that's open and your heart that's open, ready to receive, you'll be able to get a lot of downloads that are going to come in, and it's up to you to start moving in the way that they are guiding you. So for me, I got so many random downloads that seemed to not be that important, but ended up being super important in my manifestation. So for example, there was a day where I really felt like I needed to get my hair done, and randomly got up and decided to get it done. And I decided to go out that night, and later that night met my partner. Little things like this, you just cannot determine that this is what's going to bring me to this. But when you follow those intuitive hits, that's what it can bring you. So if you want to learn more about this framework, if you want to be guided through 30 days of this, join the Wild Heart Woman program. I have it linked below. There is a live and a self-study version of it. Different tiers, different pricing, where you have these 30 days. The full portal, you get them with me, you have sessions with me as well. The self-study, it's just you going through it on your own. But either way, you're going to have a huge awakening. It's going to be an initiation into this energy. If you enjoyed this video, comment below what other videos you'd like to see, and I will see you in the next one.